your mom always tells you, don't buy secondhand underwear, but like, if
Who
these aren't-
buys secondhand underwear? Your mom has to tell you that?
No, but like, it's a thing.
Who buys secondhand underwear?
That's why they're not at Goodwill.
Because you should never buy secondhand. Did your mom actually give you that advice?
I mean, my mom said it once, and I was like, Mom, I already knew not to buy secondhand underwear.
What? Who's buying secondhand underwear? That's wild.
I feel like Black Market would have some of that stuff.
Well, yeah, but that's more of like a fetish. Nobody's like consciously being like, I need underwear. Let me go buy some used underwear.
It's the Pop Report.
So juicy.
All right, we're in it.
Okay.
You want to sip of that first?
Yeah.
You better make it loud for that mic.
ASMR.
Ooh. Hey, Miss Coffee Bitch.
Oh, hey.
You caffeinated?
Not fully, but I'm getting there.
You said Starbucks is broken when you walked in here, and I'm like,
Well, yeah, I went to Starbucks and then I went in and they're like, it's not working. I'm like, what's not working? He's like,
Me.
Our system. And I was like, okay, so Starbucks is broken. And they're like, you can use the app. And I was like, that's too complicated. And I just walked out because I was not going to download an app and place an order through, because then you have to sign up your email and then you have to confirm your email. I just already know how the system works and I want to fight against the system.
The system is a social construct.
Yeah.
Starbucks, the bank, has not been authorized access into your phone. So,
Yeah, I was not going to order through the Starbucks app.
I mean, you're caffeinated now.
Almost. We're getting there.
How do you do it?
Do what?
Wake up every day and say, I'm awake, I'm alive, it's 4 a.m., let me do the damn thing. Like,
Well, today I was extra ambitious and I thought I could squeeze in my because Tuesdays I typically can't do my 6 a.m. workouts just because it's such a busy morning. But today I was like, you know what? I feel like a bad bitch and I'm going to squeeze in this workout. And not only did I throw out my back, but it totally delayed my entire morning. So we're needing extra coffee.
well, I'm glad you're here.
I'm
glad
alive.
you survived.
How are you? I saw you were having an eventful weekend.
Oh my God, I went to see Nelly Furtado this weekend.
Oh, wow. What a throwback to 2004.
You're right, and it was amazing. I felt so old this year. Like, I've seen Kesha, I have seen Kylie Minogue, I've seen like all these 2000s artists. Like,
Kylie Minogue is not a 2000 artist.
I mean, she
Kylie
has
Minogue is like the last
She's-
5 years.
girl. No,
Okay, well, I just discovered her like last year.
that's
so.
fine. You get a pass.
Okay.
Yeah, you know that song like from the 2000s, like na 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 na. na. That's her.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm
that.
glad that you picked it up within like me humming just a few beats because I was like, I don't want to sing the full
This is gonna
thing.
be that. What is it? How many beats can you name the song?
Name that tune.
Yeah, there
Zac
you go.
edition. Yeah, I saw her, and I saw Disclosure at Hard Summer in Los Angeles. Which, by the way, for those of you who pay attention to city news, LA news, if you live in LA, noise complaints from music festivals, I'd just say expected at this point. They had apparently heard vibrations of the music festival from miles away.
Good vibrations.
So that was me. You know, little things. But in other pressing news, we're 1,000 subscribers in.
We are.
Yeah, like
We did it.
we did it, Joe.
We did it.
And in like a few like months,
We are
we are
right.
here. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, first of all, thank you for those of you who have. Second of all, obviously be sure to wherever you're listening on whatever platform. But yeah, we've had like a cute little few months and we're close to 25 episodes already, and it kind of flies by.
Well, first of all, that's actually pretty impressive because most people don't
They leave.
do that in 4. Like, first of all, we've stayed alive for 4 months, which is very rare. Some people shut down their podcasts after 3. So the fact that we've kept ours alive is very impressive, and we continue to grow. I'm very happy about that.
She's a grower, not a shower.
Nope.
So
Well, we grow and we show.
we also had Bonnie McKee, which was a fun
Yes.
guest to have. I think we've done a lot in like our first few episodes, like just
Yeah.
kind of like, talking about news and gagging on shit. Like,
Well, I don't know how much you've been gagging on lately,
I
but
don't know, but there is stuff to gag about in today's episode, though. There's a lot of headlines. There's a lot of
a
stuff.
lot of headlines. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, how do we get even through all of this in 45 minutes? And y'all seem to consume
We
and
really
eat this shit
do,
up.
yeah.
We pack a lot, and y'all, okay, like y'all listen to the whole thing, and I think that's a testament to everyone who listens because they're like, you know, I got enough of this story. I'm on to the next. I'm on to the next, and we give you just enough to not get bored. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. Y'all like it some reason,
don't
and so we
get
keep doing it.
Bored with us. I know there are some other celebrity couples that do bore you.
Ooh, that's a transition, and you want to hit the nail on the head with that?
Sure. Let's talk about the royal refugees.
Oh, Zack.
So Meghan and Harry have given their first exclusive sit-down interview since
Glasses are coming off.
Since their Oprah interview back in 2021. And let me just remind
everybody.
That was
that long ago?
That was that long ago.
Okay.
3 years ago. And since then, they've had a failed podcast deal with Spotify and a failed deal with Netflix as well, because they don't know how to honor their commitments, allegedly. And so now here they are promoting their Archer Foundation.
Yes, which they also didn't file their paperwork this year on time for them to be able to collect as a foundation.
Right, so they're just
they're having a time, and I feel like the media also just piles on them.
I mean, they've done it to themselves.
Okay.
But speaking of piling on them, this interview was basically their way of saying that the media piles on them and leaning back into, the sad story of the royal refugees.
Why are they called the royal? Who coined this? You?
I coined this.
Oh, God.
Because they literally left the UK to go to Canada and then said that they were homeless because they were being harassed by the paparazzi in Canada. And then suddenly Tyler Perry offers them this giant mansion that they can stay at during the pandemic. So they then flee to the mansion in California, in lovely California.
Montecito? That mansion?
Yeah.
That's Tyler Perry's?
No, not was that the first one they moved into was Tyler Perry's. The one that they're in currently is not.
Got it.
Tyler
Not
Perry's.
the one near Oprah is not Tyler Perry. Got it.
No, I actually think there was one near Oprah that they moved into.
It was
Tyler Perry.
I'm
Tyler
just
Perry's
making this.
Listen, if it's that bad, I have, you can come seek refuge at my mansion in Montecito. And so they came and they,
So
lived
anyway,
their life.
Don't let me derail this, but continue on.
Yeah, because anytime you want to get away from the paparazzi, you move to California. So anyway, I didn't know that their foundation is dedicated to helping children that suffer from trauma from social media.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know there's
the mission. That's what they talked about in this interview with CBS.
They've obviously
that's their focus.
Done the Invictus Games, which was a really great cause. Like, they had the documentary on it. I don't really know much about Archer. Like, I think is it Archer?
I think it's
because there's also a dating app called Archer. And I don't know, gay people, if you know, there's a dating app. So every time I hear this, I'm like, and then I think of Archie or
Archwell. Sorry, Archwell.
Archwell. Sorry,
Archwell Foundation.
And that's named after their son.
Yeah.
So
Archie.
And then there's Archer. I don't know. There's too many arcs.
But so they have
They
have a new program called the Parents Network, and it's where they want to protect children from trauma on social media.
How do they do that?
Great question.
Because they signed a new bill in the U.S. to have a Parents Protection Act. So I'm like, how does will the royals get involved in politics now to monitor the safety of children on the internet and consumption and advertising to children? I don't really know too much of where they're going to go with this or how they monitor.
Not sure, because they spend a lot of time talking about themselves. And, Meghan openly spoke about the bullying that she faces and the social media heat that she faces.
I feel like you're Meghan.
I'm Meghan? Well, how am I Meghan?
The bullying I face, the talking about myself. I'm kidding. No, I mean, when is this interview supposed to happen?
It already dropped.
It literally dropped.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's already aired.
Where is it aired?
CBS Sunday morning, Sunday morning show.
Maybe that's why I don't know where, because I don't watch things on Sunday like that.
Yeah, it dropped on August 4th, so over the weekend. It didn't make enough waves, but
we are covering it.
Yeah, we're covering it. But Meghan's sister has made a lot of waves because she's now, Meghan, I guess, sued her. There was a lawsuit between the two. I think they were countersuing each other because obviously her sister has made some accusations against Meghan, and Meghan's like, you're a liar. Meghan ended up winning, and now the sister is appealing that by saying that Meghan portrayed her as lying, a racist, and fame-seeking.
Oh my God, calling your sister
a
racist?
lying, racist, fame-seeker. Well, Harry called his family racist.
That's different. That's a group of collective people, but singling out one person.
No, he singled out one person. He basically singled out, what was it, Camilla and one of the other royals that,
he did?
Yeah, because he said that they... made a comment about, what happens if the baby has red curly hair? Is the baby going to have a red afro?
I remember I thought that was like a rumor who said this, like collective in the family someone did, but I didn't anyway.
I think it came out in Tom Bauer's book Revenge that's who he was referring to.
Well, thank you for always being the royal correspondent over here. Like, you are sipping tea left and right.
Well, I do think that the sister is, I don't know if she's lying or she's a racist, but she definitely seems like a fame seeker. And if Meghan portrayed her that way, then Meghan was very successful in this campaign.
Do we think people are going to have an arc with Meghan right now? Or like, what do you think is going to happen with the royals coming up?
I don't know. The fact that their interview didn't make the big splash that their 2021 interview did already says that they're going extinct.
I think it's because Oprah also like made the points of like, were you silent or were you silenced? And there's so many memeable moments and a beautiful setting. And this is just like another news interview.
Another one.
So unless Oprah was like, let's revisit this, I think then it'd get more. I think Oprah
said thank you next.
Oprah said, I'm good. I did you once. Well, moving on to music, people who are also saying thank you next. Kehlani's ex-man is saying that the singer is involved in a cult.
Oh.
And he wants custody of their child.
What kind of cult? Like a Soul Cycle cult or like a drink the Kool-Aid kind of cult?
I think like a drink the Kool-Aid kind of cult, like religious and like, all these different things. But Kehlani's former partner is requesting full custody of their 5-year-old, Adea, citing concerns the singer's involved in this said cult. And according to the court documents, the two ended their relationship in 2020, and he's looking to modify their current custody arrangement and seeking child support from her. So a lot of people are like right now not happy with Kehlani. And I've heard people over the years say like she kind of sold out to fame. There was recently a photo with her and Chris Brown together where people were not happy with that too, because he joked about her and one other person's suicide attempt. So she's had a lot of people like, talking about her at the moment. But he basically appealed to court and said, yo, like when she's gone, I'm fully in charge of this child. She is on tour a lot. This cult is not having the best parental advice for her. But this child was
what do they say? It takes a cult to a village to raise a child?
Yeah, it is a whole village.
There we go.
This was a home birth. So he is saying that basically he's been trying to get the social security documents and like put on for like registration as the father and more, like for years. The child is 5. And he's saying like, look, because this is a home birth, they weren't able to register certain things appropriately, which I don't know how home births work. That's not my field. Like, but
don't they have a midwife to help them with that? I mean, you can't just have, I guess you can just like have a baby in the backyard and not register it.
I mean, he says he's concerned like when she goes on to her tour in August that like her departure is going to affect a lot of different things and this cycle keeps happening. But he also says like it just wasn't registered to a hospital, like the birth. So I don't know how you can get away with that. I don't know how
there has to be
5 years later
legal ramification for that.
But also 5 years later, we're now making this appeal. Like it wasn't like in year 1, year 2, like
yeah.
But I don't know. Like if they were separated in 2020, I think the first thing I'm like, okay, let me get this child of mine registered to a hospital. So the concerns have been growing over the past years about the cult for his side. He claims the group exerts control over her actions and her parenting decisions. He claims the cult leaders...
The cult?
Doesn't say. He says the cult proposed a threat to their daughter and, led him to months of not seeing his daughter. So he's saying that the cult has done a lot of things like religious ceremonies, the whole cult 9 yards, if you want to call it. But it's to hear the word cult like these days thrown around. I feel like we hear it so often, but we're like, what is this cult? And a cult, when you hear the word,
it's a sex cult.
Oh, when you hear the word, you're like, these people dress up, these people do ceremonies, like, Coven American Horror Story is what people think of cults. But in the 10s, like all these documentaries about cults have come up, and like groups and leaders and running cults on the DL. So I'm not sure what's going to come out of this, but Kehlani's about to go on tour.
I mean, she sounds like a hot mess.
Holds the iPad and you're like,
Well, I'm very fascinated by what this cult is. Because like you said, we throw that term around so loosely. And I feel like, especially when it comes to custody battles, like it gets dirty and it gets, like they just try to take the deepest shots. But now I'm just like very much curious what this cult is.
I'm just also wondering, again, if you have a child who's 5 and now we're waiting to bring up the registration to the hospital. Like, obviously, he said he's been trying for years, but I'm like, 5? I don't know.
Yeah, 5 years is a bit of a long. Like, at some point, you report that to somebody because, like, that can't legally be a thing. You can't just have a baby and not register it.
Does it, like, get to the point of kindergarten where you're trying to put the child in school and you're like, this child's not registered to the state?
Like, the child needs a birth certificate and a social security number.
I don't know how that works. I am not a childbearing father.
Interesting.
Moving on to other things. Aerosmith has announced they're retiring from touring. Which...
Are you an Aerosmith fan?
I played Guitar Hero Aerosmith.
No.
Growing up. Do I know Aerosmith songs? Yes. Do I know the history of Steven Tyler? A little. But he has a vocal injury. And so they're...
Hasn't he had that vocal injury? I feel like he's been screaming at the top of his lungs for a while.
So he went to rehab last update and he came out and basically they're saying the recovery from his vocal injury is not possible. The group was...
What's the vocal injury?
Don't know.
Can he just do the Britney thing and sing to a track?
That's a good idea, but I don't know.
I don't get why more of these old rock stars don't do that. Like, just play a track in the back of a last live recording and, like, the audience will still go wild for it.
Yeah. Not me. But they had their last show on September 9th of last year. So that show was their happened to be final gig because he did rehab and he went away and he's got this like vocal injury. But the group had been active on the live front and they had like a goodbye tour. They had a residency at the Dolby, at the Park MGM in Las Vegas, a hometown show at Boston's Fenway Park last year to celebrate their 50th anniversary. 50 years also, like, I'd be done.
To still be touring after that.
Aerosmith,
that really says I don't want to miss a thing.
I'm proud of you. You actually need some music culture reference to throw in there.
Thank you, Andy. You should take notes and dream on.
50 years, dream on. That's a long time, though. Like,
crazy.
Tyler also came out with a solo album in 2016. They started in like 1970, like around there.
Yeah,
so
early 70s.
They call their fans their Blue Army. They've always wanted to blow their minds, like the fans when they're performing. And I think everyone's talked about Aerosmith so much. They've had a lot of history, a lot of ups and downs. But yeah, they're like, we're not going to be coming back.
Remember when he used to host American Idol with J-Lo?
Oh yeah, Steven Tyler was on American Idol.
Yeah, so was J-Lo.
People always talked about them and their bodies for so many reasons. People were always fascinaed, like what's
by
going
their
on.
bodies.
Yeah, like they're two people on American Idol judges. Like people were talking about Steven Tyler's lips over the years.
Oh
like, his face appearance, J-Lo's appearance. Did she get like butt implants? Like, is she insured still for like her body? It's wild that those are very two prominent like front runners in history that they both were like. American Idol's also had so many people who are like front runners. I mean, Carrie Underwood just got announced for American Idol. Like she's coming back instead of Katy Perry. But I don't know. It's sad to see Aerosmith gone. But like,
is it though?
I honestly don't know how they've been together for 50 years.
But like, you weren't actively going to like an Aerosmith concert. Like, you can't be that sad.
No.
See, like if you want, you can just go on Spotify and don't want to miss a thing. Play. You can still enjoy Aerosmith.
Aerosmith, the way you said it.
Oh, is that not how you pronounce it?
Aerosmith. It's Aerosmith, yeah, but like you made it sound like arrow.
Oh, not
like the word arrow, but.
Well, sorry, I know you don't care about Aerosmith because you're too busy living your brat summer.
Yeah, what is this slander? Because all I'm interested in Charli XCX's birthday party.
Oh, how old is she? 38?
Don't know.
Well,
Google it. Google it while I give the backstory.
How old is BB Rexa?
Good God, the shade you put. So, for those of you who missed it, Charli's birthday party, it was filled with just like
She's
celebrities.
32.
You said 38. How dare you?
Well,
she had Sabrina Carpenter, Lord, Billy. Like,
well, of course she was gonna have Lord and Billy.
She
just did the guest remix with Billy, which I can't get enough of.
People were surprised Sabrina Carpenter was there though, because
she's hot right now. Was Taylor invited?
So that's the thing. People are, again, stirring up alleged beef that "Sympathy is a Knife," the Charli XCX song, was about Taylor Swift coming backstage to 1975 shows, which Charli XCX is engaged to one of the bandmates. So people spun this. Also, having Billy jump on the track for Guests that came out this last week, when Billy has also made comments about artists and their 3-hour shows people don't want to see. And last but not least, Billy's comments on vinyl records and how sustainable they actually are, aka could be placed to Taylor Swift.
Why are vinyl records not sustainable?
They're just the packaging and all it takes for like the eco-conscious effort of production of like plastic and like
okay. Forgive me for asking.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't care.
There's a lot that goes into
They're
vinyl
pretty
making.
and they look great.
So do you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so what happened at Charli's party?
I mean, Sabrina was there, and people have these photos of her that people call them like Bigfoot sighting photos because her eyes are like, when you take a photo and it's red.
Yeah.
She's like walking off. Like, not really many clips were seen. Also, like, there were comments about Lucas Gage, like, being at the party and making out with boys, and a photo from Dumois, like,
of him making out with boys?
No. The photo. There were photos from the party, like, on Dumois.
Yeah.
And people were like, Lucas Gage was seen making out with boys, and he commented back, "It was only 2. God." Like, I think that was funny when a celebrity like leans in to that kind of stuff. But
that's funny.
Again, like, people were really.
Remember when he was married to Chris Appleton?
That feels like forever ago.
I know. He called it a fever dream.
Gracie Abrams and Glenn Powell were allegedly flirting all night, from what some things have said or been said. But yeah, a bartender, was giving his POV of the Barbie Ferreros of the room. Nelly Furtado, my queen, was there briefly. So
everyone that was more talented than Taylor Swift.
I'm just going to let the silence sit. Kim Petras also was there. Apparently the bartender said she was so quiet when she orders a drink. But Rosalia, a whole kit and caboodle. Rachel Sennott.
That's quite the party.
It's quite the party. People were posting tons of clips from it. And then obviously Billy and Charli there, Billy and Lord being there, like both of them all being on tracks together. They all were like singing when it came on.
Good.
Very big. Weird.
I want to get invited to this party next time.
I know. Did you also see the Guest music video with Billie Eilish?
Yes, and all the underwear everywhere.
The underwear, and it's being donated to like a good cause too. Like all
the underwear to what, homeless people?
No, it's for the girls. It's
what?
Like a
The underwear is being donated to girls?
So let me pull this up for you.
Okay.
Like, so basically,
what in the Meghan Markle is happening at this foundation?
It's being donated to I Support the Girls.
What is being donated? The underwear?
The avalanche of underwear and the bra mountain from the Guest music video will impact thousands of survivors of domestic violence.
How?
I think for those people who maybe need to start over, like getting out of a relationship.
Yeah, so they're donating the underwear so that, like, dress for success.
Yes, like new clothes, like things
Got
that
it.
people need if they need to get out of a situation and leave all their stuff behind. Like, yeah. So I don't know how much underwear that was in that music video, but like,
actually, that's not a bad idea because if you think about it, a lot of these places, even if you go to like Goodwill, there's not really underwear. You're not like buying somebody's used underwear. So people need underwear.
People need underwear.
I actually like this cause.
And also, like, your mom always tells you, don't buy secondhand underwear. But like, if
who buys secondhand underwear? Your mom has to tell you that?
No, but like, it's the thing.
Who buys secondhand underwear?
That's why they're not at Goodwill.
Because you should never buy secondhand. Did your mom actually give you that advice?
I mean, my mom said it once, and I was like, Mom, I already knew not to buy secondhand underwear.
What? Who's buying secondhand underwear? That's wild.
I feel like black market would have some of that stuff.
Well, yeah, but that's more of like a fetish. Nobody's like consciously being like, I need underwear. Let me go buy some used underwear.
Let's move on before we get into a deep, dark, weird place. In other news, let's talk about some other weird stories.
Okay, let's get into this one.
Okay, so have you been watching the Olympics?
No.
Zac. I mean, I haven't either.
Okay, thank you. I don't
I've
think
seen
most
clips
people
on
are.
social.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen clips on social.
seen
I know
enough.
what's going on.
Yes. So you saw the pole vaulter,
Yes.
Anthony.
Bourdain.
No.
Oh.
Not Anthony Bourdain. Anthony Amorati,
Mhm.
the Italian man who had his viral pole vault mishap with his, you know what?
I don't know if it was it was a mishap. He just didn't make it. He was pole vaulting. He was trying to jump over the pole, which one does when they're pole vaulting, and he didn't make it because his bulge ended up hitting the pole, so he ended up losing because his bulge got in the way.
Yeah, I mean, he said he was gutted in the quote. Like, he's like, I'm gutted about it.
Well,
And,
I'm sure a lot of his partners have been gutted too.
you know, if you put it that way, an NSFW site reached out to him though and said, for $250K, show
What
us
was
the
the
goods.
site? Cash Soda, Cam Soda. What is it?
But there's so many of these random things. Like,
I
it
know, but
sounds
they're
so
always
third
doing.
party.
They're actually really well. They're not successful, but they are smart because every time there's some viral moment. I remember when Tom Sandoval was in his Scandival era, they offered him like $1 million to join. So they're always doing these, inserting themselves into these celebrity scandals. I think they're called like Cam Soda or something.
It was Cam Soda. The vice president named Darren Parker.
Listen, Cam
sent him a
Soda,
letter.
I'm available.
I'm available for bookings if my bulge hits it that way. He said, quote, if it was up to me, I'd award you for what everyone else saw, your talent below the belt. Can you imagine a vice president also sending you that kind of like...
He's the vice president of Cam Soda. It's like a as you said, not safe for work site.
It's just wild to get like a...
That's like saying, that's wild that a VP of a sex toy company is sending out free vibrators.
No,
like,
but
that's
just
what
the
they
comment
do.
is like, your talent below the belt. I'm like, okay, girl, like, we get it. Like, but he is asking for a 60-minute webcam show to show off his goods minus the crossbar. 60 minutes. That's not enough. I'm saying
$250,000?
that's not enough.
For 60 minutes?
Not enough.
It's enough for me.
Like, you know that traffic would be up there and then cemented for life.
Yeah, I guess I would fight for at least $1 million.
Yeah.
That's what Lindsay Lohan charged when she posed for Playboy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
She showed it all.
What would you do for $1 million?
I would do a 60-minute. I mean, I would probably take less than that, but I would definitely do a 60-minute on display.
As a pole vaulter doing a 60-minute full frontal, I would do the Lindsay Lohan Playboy cover for $1 million.
She did a full spread.
I would spread.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'd probably ask for a little more than $1 million.
Lindsay needed the money.
I think I need the money too, but I'm different. Yeah. So that's...
I mean, I feel bad for him though, because obviously he's getting these offers, but like, just imagine he's 21 years old. He's worked so much of his life to be at the Olympics. And then I get it. Everyone's having this fun, cheeky, viral moment with him, but it's like in his head, he's an athlete. He's an Olympian, and he's now just been reduced to this like thirst trap online, which like anybody that's a true athlete that goes to the Olympics, like they don't care about any of that stuff. They care about their craft. They're like actors. They take themselves way too seriously about their art. And in this case, I feel like, when he said he was disappointed that he didn't win, and everyone's like, oh, well, that's okay because now everybody knows that you got a big dick and like it's a, good for you. And I'm sure he's not even proud of like his big bulge. Like think of, well, I don't know. Anyway. I don't think he's proud. I think he's like, riddled with shame. But listen, this can open up a whole new career for him. I think he needs to let his ego just take it, embrace it, and lean with it.
Well, in other news, watch or skip.
Yeah.
There's not too much happening and stuff happening at the same time. I might see Twisters maybe tonight. I don't know. That's my update. Have you heard of Twisters and 4DX?
Yes. Was it you who was I talking to about this? I was just having this conversation with somebody about the 4D.
4DX is like $40 to see the the damn
Was
movie.
it you that I was talking to about this?
Maybe, but they have the chairs vibrate, like water comes, air.
Yeah.
I spit on me for $40. Damn, that's a lot of money, but like I still want to see it.
Yeah.
Like
They have 4D by where I live in downtown. The
but
Regal
people were getting up
downtown.
at 3 a.m. to get a ticket for this
Stupid.
$40 like
Stupid.
they brought it back, the 40X thing, and I'm like, I saw SpongeBob in 40X, maybe not Twisters, but
Saw
we'll see something.
SpongeBob in 40X?
As a child.
It existed then?
It was at a theme park. It was different.
That was a thing?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I mean, but
Anyway.
as a kid, that would be fun because you get to like explore all the elements. But like, I don't know how I want to like simulate feeling like I'm in a Twister.
Yeah, a cow goes by and you're like feeling the vibrations of the cow. Things that are happening right now.
What's happening?
John Wick TV series is in development, which has been, people love John Wick. I'm not that girl. I didn't watch a single John Wick. It's been
I've
in
never
background.
seen
It's a
John
good
Wick.
background movie for me. But this is not news to fans of John Wick and Keanu Reeves because this has been talked about for so long. But Lionsgate's like, yeah, we're in development now for a TV series. There's been like 4 John Wick movies. It's a very successful franchise, but
Good for him.
good for him. Hulk Hogan
Is he a person?
Keanu Reeves?
No, John Wick.
It's a
He's
fictional
Keanu
character.
Reeves.
Yeah,
Got it.
it's kind of hard to. Though also Wick like makes me think of Candle Wick.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's involved with the Candle movie. Please don't cancel me. Hulk Hogan is.
Oh, fuck off.
I know.
I don't care about his sex tape. Well, no, I don't. The sex tape never came out. Didn't he like prevent it from coming out and like a clip leaked online?
Gawker
There's
put
no.
it out.
Yeah.
So he had a settlement with Gawker for like 140 million or something, and so
Wow, that's a
there's
lot of
now
money.
like a movie in the works about the sex tape debacle.
Stupid. I don't care. Pam and Tommy, that was at least interesting because the sex tape got out. It was talked about. It was like, a culture moment.
Mm-hmm.
This, not so much. Like everybody remembers where they were when they saw Tommy Lee's big dick on the sex tape.
Did you see Dirty Pop, the documentary of like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys,
Yeah.
everything? Hulk Hogan's in that documentary
Why?
because I didn't realize, has been around a lot of like people in politics and people like throughout the, not just like Trump election, but pre everything else. Like there's clips of him in the 2000s in this documentary of him being at like, small elections and like the boy band members are there. And I'm like, wow, Hulk Hogan's been around in politics, but also like shredding his shirt off at the RNC.
What does that have to do with
Him,
the boy bands?
the boy bands. Lou Pearlman would basically say, "Come sing at this." Like these people
Oh.
who are in politics were donating to his
Got it,
Ponzi
got
scheme
it.
of the boy bands.
Got it.
So
And so Hulk Hogan was there to rip his shirt off and do his thing.
he didn't rip his shirt off, but maybe he's gonna rip. I don't know what they're gonna do for casting of this Gawker thing. Like who's gonna be Hulk Hogan?
Glenn Powell.
I don't know who wants to be Hulk Hogan though. Like who wants to take
This
on
isn't
role?
that interesting of like a thing to make a movie out of.
I know. I'm not gonna watch.
Like again, Pam
Skip.
and Tommy was interesting. If they made like even if they did a Paris Hilton or Kim Kardashian movie about their sex tape, like it would at least be a little more interesting because people are familiar with it. But the Hulk Hogan tape never got out.
Speaking of Simple Life reunion,
Oh yeah, Paris and Nicole have been out filming. They were, I think they were in Sonic uniforms.
wait,
So-
like the rollerblade ones?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But it's uncertain what, like, they keep saying this isn't, like, we're not doing a reboot. It's supposed to be more of a reunion style show. They've been very vague with the details, but it kind of looks like Paris and Nicole are, like, look at. See,
Oh, that's
they're
hot.
dressed in their Sonic outfit. So it looks like they're working at Sonic, and they have the little hot dog man. Or I guess that's Nicole dressed as the hot dog man. So it looks like they're doing the Simple Life thing again. I mean, this clearly looks like
maybe they try like one thing one last time and see how it feels.
maybe,
But
but they're not going on a farm and milking a cow.
I'll still watch. I want to see them work at Sonic and be in the hot dog costume.
Yep.
Other general news at the moment, nothing too crazy is happening this week, which I'm totally fine with. I'm totally fine with everyone living their lives, being happy, doing their thing.
But Zac Efron, didn't he have an accident?
Yes, he's saying he's happy and healthy. Like he posted a photo of him working out, and everyone's like, "I thought you were in an accident." So
Well, it was a reported minor accident,
yeah,
a minor swimming pool accident.
and so whenever people are seeing accident now, a celebrity, especially
Well,
Zac
because
Efron.
remember
his
he
past
like
accident.
fell, and how did this leak? And when he broke his jaw, that didn't.
I don't know.
Because remember, everyone's like, what happened to your face? Your face is different. You had plastic surgery. He's like, no, I didn't. I like slipped and I fell and I cracked my jaw open. And so that's why I got plastic surgery.
He's happy and healthy.
Good for him. But so what happened? He fell into a pool and he like took a dive and he hurt himself, right? But it was like a deep pool.
Girl, I don't know. All
Yeah.
I know is I saw like swimming pool accident, and I was like, I don't know if that means you dive and you like. I was just my first thought is chin scrape on the water when you dive. I've done that before. That fucking hurts.
You scrape your chin on the water?
You like scrape your entire front of your body. Have you ever done that?
On the water?
On the bottom of the floor when you
dive?
On the
how does that happen?
When you dive and you go down and you start to come back, you don't realize how close you are to the floor, and you can scrape. Because my dad had a pool that had a curve out of the deep end, and I scraped like.
How deep are you diving?
It was an 8-foot pool, 9-foot pool, so it wasn't that deep.
That's deep.
We had a diving board.
That's deep.
Girl, that's not that. Well, when you're a
They
diver,
don't make those anymore.
You see the Olympic swimmers? They have 30 feet diving boards.
Well, that's the Olympics.
Okay. Well, yeah, but the standard dive is like you have to have 9.
I thought that when people Wow. I thought that when people dove and they like, because they say don't dive into the shallow. I thought it was because you can dive and then like crack your head on the floor.
Correct. So if you're
I've never in my life heard about anybody that scrapes their chin on the floor of an 8-foot pool.
So think of it this way.
Okay.
If you're 6 feet tall,
I'm listening.
and you dive 6 feet tall, works in finance.
Which you're not.
No. And you dive into a pool and you hit like 3 feet below water already, like just from the force of the dive, and you're 6 feet tall, like you're going to start like gradually coming up and you're going to hit.
That's never happened to me. I'm also not 6 foot. Neither is Zac Efron.
No one else is 6 foot.
I don't know. I don't know how that happened to him. He somehow, I think, scraped something. Maybe his big bulge on the pole, but he dove into like the deep end and like injured himself that way.
It's a very common thing. Wow, we've covered a lot so far. Also, a reminder, if you haven't subscribed,
please subscribe.
Please subscribe. We talk a lot of game every week for you, for us. Let's talk about some couples.
Sure.
Okay, so
what
couples have you been paying attention besides Jennifer Lopez?
That's the only one I pay attention to.
I thought so.
Well, to be fair, this is under legal news, but it's technically also couples news. Ray Cyrus and Firerose.
Oh, we gotta save that to the end.
Fine. Well, then don't ask me.
Okay. Well,
J-Lo. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about J-Lo.
Yeah, I was like J-Lo. So, you've seen the pics.
Yes.
They're both
over it.
Yeah. Like, J-Lo's back on to touring houses. She toured a $68 million house, no ring.
What a deal.
What a deal. And then he toured a house close to Jennifer Garner so he could be close to, like, the kids.
His ex.
And so it's the done. Yep, the sun done. Competition, why, yes, I would love some. Black Eyed Peas. But yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm just still trying to understand. If I was representing an artist, I'd be like, look, you all want an answer of some sort. Like you've said before, you have pushed this relationship in front of us so much. At least give like a statement to die down some of the press. Because I just think I'm tired of seeing every photo just being like, no ring. And I'm like, I get everyone's fixated on it. But like, I think everyone's just fixated to know like what's going on.
I saw a headline that basically said that the reason he hasn't filed for divorce yet is because he like wanted to refrain from embarrassing her. But I feel like she does a good job of doing that herself.
I feel like I'd be embarrassed regardless right now. If it's like, I think anyone having a divorce, it is feeling of embarrassment. I think it's natural. I think everyone has a likelihood of going through it.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be the embarrassing part. I think it's like all these paparazzi photos that are selling for like tens of thousands of dollars of you just trying to live your life and not have a ring on. I'm like, who again are calling these paparazzi people?
I don't even think many people need to call where she's going. They're very public places.
The photos of him, they're always in the car.
Oh, yeah. Always in the car, always smoking, always drinking Dunkin' Donuts. I feel like they're hounding him right now. But with her, there's this girl on TikTok that like imitates J-Lo. And she's always like just parodying J-Lo tipping off the paparazzi and then like getting mad when the paparazzi shows up. And it's just funny because it's true. Like she keeps overexposing herself by going to these outdoor malls and walking down Santa Monica in the Hamptons and going and getting an ice cream. Like once they know J-Lo's in the Hamptons, obviously all the paparazzi are going to flood to the Hamptons. And it's small enough that where if you go to the little local ice cream shop, oh my God, what a coinky dink.
What do you think she's going to do? Like just sit for like months in hiding though? If she wants to get an ice cream cone, I'm like, go for it. But like, I don't know how you can even live your daily life and like go out and like do things. You can have other people go get some stuff for you, but like if you want to go have an ice cream with your $70,000 bag.
Yeah. 75.
I think it's just the way it's been going about. Like it is bringing a lot of attention. People are like, just go get ice cream in sweats.
I think she knows that there's going to be the attention. Like, here's the thing. She gets mad that there's the attention, but then she keeps putting herself in these positions where she's going to garner more attention. And then she acts, you know, annoyed by it all, which also doesn't help either. But I also get like it is annoying because you see her and she like walks by, and it's so weird to me how people are just like vultures in the sense that like they just like have their phone. They're not even talking to her. They're not even looking at her. They have no interest in like treating her like a human being. They just like want their photo with her, and then they just like walk away and are looking at the phone. Like it's strange, but also like, and I get that, and I have, you know, a human level of empathy for how uncomfortable that must be. But again, she keeps putting herself in these positions. It's like if you want to be treated like a clown, if you don't want to be treated like a clown, why do you keep showing up at the circus with your face painted? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know that's...
Yeah. People gave her shit also for like her having an expensive bag. People were like, she worked hard for it. Like, let her get the bag.
She could afford it. Fuck, if you could get a $75,000... If I could afford a $75,000 bag, I would be rocking it too.
She has a $100,000 bag also. Like, all of her bags.
Good for her.
Like, good for her. Let her have her money.
Good for her. She doesn't have a tour, so let her have her bag.
Yeah. HGTV star Christina Hall's husband, Josh, says the divorce that he was presented with was unwanted.
When is the divorce usually wanted?
I mean, usually you hear like both people say, hey, like, just didn't work out. Hey, here's our statement. And he's like, no, bitch.
Maybe that's why J-Lo and Ben haven't filed yet. The divorce is unwanted.
Christina Hall, this is her second divorce. Tarek El Mousso, and now this. And so she had 2 shows with 2 partners. And now I don't know what's going to be next for her.
Third time's the charm.
I remember there were a lot of allegations when her and Tarek broke it off.
Mm-hmm.
There were like was there like physical altercation, like allegations, and a lot of like emotional stuff that was brought up. But they've, it seems on camera, remained like a working relationship with the previous husband. There was even like Heather from Selling Sunset, who they both, you know, dressed the same in a viral video spoofing like, oh wow, he must like have a type, like in a funny little video, because they dressed in the same jeans. They were both blonde. So people thought that was funny, but this is like, okay, again, another situation where a couple brings in a lot of attention to themselves, and now they're like, hey, here's divorce. And we don't know what they're going to say. We don't know what the husband's going to say after this, but it's like, okay, what is she going to say? What's going to come from her? What statement is this going to be?
She's devastated.
Is this going to be a situation like, again, not addressing it like a J-Lo?
She's devastated. She's sad that it didn't work out, and she believed that this was the time that it was going to work out, but she was deceived, and he was emotionally abusive.
What are you reading from?
That's my prediction.
Got it.
I'm reading it from a future headline.
Another happy news for couples. Before we get into Billy Ray.
Oh, Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga is maybe having a destination wedding.
Wow, where?
Don't know. But she did refer to her boyfriend of 4 years as fiance in a couple interviews around the Olympics time. So everyone's like, Gaga, you can't just like slip that in. And everyone's like, again, couples who can keep stuff private, you can keep it private. Like, she's engaged, she had her moment. She's not like doing a spectacle of it, but she's like, you know what? That's my life. That's my time.
Good for her.
So kudos to her. Congrats. I want to see, where would you go for a destination wedding if you're a celebrity?
I don't know. Somewhere tropical.
Like Barbados?
Sure.
What, like, if you had J-Lo money and you could say, I'm bringing my bag.
Didn't she have a movie about a destination wedding, J-Lo?
Oh, Shotgun Wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
You'd have a shotgun wedding?
Well,
Vegas. That's as they all do. As
I wouldn't want like a big destination wedding. I'd feel like I wouldn't even want a Vegas wedding.
the Kardashians did it.
Yeah. 2 of them.
2 of them. Well, to round out this episode and our last topic of the day is Billy Ray Cyrus. They have settled their divorce. Him and Firerose, what do you know?
It is officially over. 7 months long. He's very happy that it's done. He's not giving her any money. She's walking away with no cash. She is walking away with his name, though, which she just recently legally changed to Cyrus.
Why?
I don't know. Well, he's saying, see, you only married me because you wanted my name.
That's... You know, someone asked me the other day, like, when you get married, would you change your name? I'm
No.
like, I love my last name. Like, it is weird that, like, I have a Christian white first name like Andy, and then Lalwani is like a Indian last name. But, like, I love it. I don't want to remove that. And, like, I don't think I'd especially get divorced from somebody and in the divorce say, look, I don't want anything to be a part of you, but I'm going to keep your last name. Just sips.
No, I was going to make an inappropriate joke.
Say it.
No.
Okay. Like,
I'm learning when to keep my mouth shut.
That's a good idea.
But so he says that, you know, she just wanted him for his last name. But I guess to be fair, or to counter that point, like, somebody with a famous last name, they're going to want to, like, marry into that to have that last name.
Girl.
I mean, look at Kris Jenner wanted to change her name back to Kardashian. Remember that?
Is she not able to do that?
She can, but the kids were like, that's psycho. Don't do that.
Why are they like, that's psycho?
Because Kardashian's not her last name anymore. She was at the time married to Bruce Jenner, who's now Caitlyn.
When you divorce, aren't you able to change your last name?
Yes.
But she's opted not to?
Because she's known as Kris Jenner now.
But she was also iconic as Kris Kardashian.
Nobody knew her as Kris Kardashian.
Okay.
She was already married to Bruce Jenner by the time they really became famous. Nobody really knew her when she was married to Robert Kardashian. But then she changed her. But then she became Kris Jenner, and then people knew her as Kris Jenner because Kris was then married to Bruce, and then they got divorced and they split up, and then Bruce ultimately became Caitlyn Jenner, and so she's still now Kris Jenner. But I remember while they were still together, she was considering switching her name back to Kardashians to match the Kardashian brand, but then all the kids were like, no, that's crazy. And at the time, she was still married to Bruce. But anyway, back to Billy Ray.
Back to Billy.
He doesn't have to pay her anything out. However, she does get royalties from any of the music that they created together, which I didn't even realize they created music together.
How many people are streaming that?
And so now she gets to leave with her royalties and her new last name. Her original last name was Hodges.
Okay.
This whole time I thought her only
name was Firerose?
Yeah.
It's her stage name.
Well, I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have a birth certificate, and that's why you need a birth certificate.
Maybe that's why
even
you
when
need
there's
people
a home
like
birth.
Kehlani to help you with the birth certificate.
Yeah. So, you know, they're living their best life. He's done with her. He's ready to move on from her. Remember, he said that she was a big fraud. So
those audio messages were wild, I must admit.
They were wild. But shows he's got some sort of an anger issue.
Growth.
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 There we go.
Well, what an exciting rundown. We haven't had a minute where it's just you and me in a second. I'm like, we had Bonnie. We had like
AJ.
It's been like 2 weeks and you guys.
Hannah.
We have turned and burned. But I like it with you and me too because we have to shoot the shit.
Yes.
And breathe.
Yes.
We obviously want to have more guests. You should leave some sort of review.
Yes.
And let us know what guests that you want us to have. And let us know what you think of our interviews because we obviously want to sprinkle in some headlines. You all want to know like your news. And so maybe we'll, for future guests, also have them react to some headlines and read them some local news, weird stories. But I have enjoyed our camaraderie together one-on-one.
I have too. And Pink Speech on Apple Podcast says that we have good vibes. You guys are good vibes and kind people. Know this. Thank you for being your true selves.
Good vibes is like saying, you're right.
Wow.
Right?
But she put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exclamation points.
Got it. Different.
So she meant it.
If there's like no punctuation and someone said good vibes, I'm like, you're like, it's chill.
Yeah.
Like
good vibes.
Did you just
good vibes? Wait,
what's
that?
That's rock on.
That's rock on, and that's
basically the same thing.
No, it's not.
Oh, that's
the thumb. Fingers matter.
Fingers matter. Finger representation.
Finger represent. This is rock on, and this is what with the 3 finger when you have the thumb out.
I don't know. I think it might be the same. No. Anyway. Anything exciting coming up for you besides trying to figure out your fingers?
No, just living life here at the Pop Report.
How's No Filter been?
Great. No Filter is killing it, thriving. We tape it 5 times a week. So if you like reality TV, you can tune into No Filter with Zac Peter every day, mix in the Pop Report.
And if you like my dumb ass, you can see this here and only here because I'm tired. I'm kidding. I hate us. Well, obviously, if you find an interest to consume more, obviously, we'll see you very soon.
Yes.
Right. Bye.